Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre. We're going to start today's episode off the same way we start every episode off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million other things with your time, and the fact that you spend it with us truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's it going, you guys? It's Jake White, JJW, coming at you from Norrell Toyota in Fort McMurray. Just wanted to say hi and come on down, check the place out.
Hi, my name's Richard. I'm the service manager here at Norrell Toyota.
Hi there, I'm Adam. I'm here at Norrell Toyota. I'm a product advisor.
Hi, I'm Cass. I'm the appointment coordinator. Happy to help you.
Hey, it's Keith Simpson here. I'm the general manager of Norrell Toyota, soon to be Fort McMurray Toyota. Pretty excited for our new dealership. As you've seen, you met all my staff. These guys are all my family. We're here to take care of you. Come on down and be part of our family.
And we are back. Sorry that I'm laughing. Tanner just is a hilarious guy. Big shout out to Norrell Toyota, our title sponsor for today's episode. As everybody at home knows, I do not introduce my guests because they can do a better job of that than myself. So can you please tell everybody at home who you are and what you're about?
Okay, so my name is Danielle Danis. Technically we pronounce it Dani, but I say Danis.
Okay.
I am the president of CUPE 2559, which represents approximately 500 members at the Fort McMurray Catholic School Division, and also we have some two other units with the Children's First Daycare and WJS, which is a group of individuals who work with adults with disabilities. So, and I'm also the area vice president on CUPE Alberta's executive board as well, representing all of Fort McMurray.
So you're busy?
Yes.
Okay, so let's double back. You pronounced your name in a unique way. What was that all about?
Well, because I'm French. I was born in Quebec. And so technically my name should be pronounced Dani, but I've been going under Danis forever because if a person is English speaking, you say Dani, they'll spell it incorrectly. And at school where I work, most of the kids know me as Miss Danielle because years ago, one of the classrooms I was working with a teacher whose last name was Dennis. So Dennis, and my name was Danis, and the student that I worked with, it was just too confusing. So I've always been known as Miss Danielle ever since. So
interesting, your origin for your nickname. Interesting.
Yes.
So nobody can call you like without the miss in front of it then, hey?
That's right.
I never call a teacher by their first name.
Actually, if my sons, I have two sons who went to École Boréale up in Abassan, and there it's quite common that you call the teacher by Madame and whatever their first name is.
Oh, no. No. My mom
Fact, right? So you're not from Fort McMurray?
No.
Where are you from originally?
I was born, like I said, in northwestern Quebec, in a little town called La Salle, Quebec, and I was there till I was about 4, and then I grew up, just crossed over the border into Ontario near the Timmins area, Shania Twain country. Okay. I grew up there, and I don't ever remember not knowing English. We grew up with both languages.
Okay.
Met my husband there in a small little town, mining town, and then we moved from Ontario in 1989. Okay. And we lived for 10 years in Tumbler Ridge in northern BC. My husband's an equipment, my husband was an equipment operator, and he worked there until 2000 when the mine shut down and half of the town came to Fort McMurray. So
yes.
Yeah, so.
Do you know the Tippies?
Yeah.
Ah, there we
Garth
go.
Tippie, yeah.
Garth.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Garth.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I remember that. Like when there was a huge influx of people from Tumbler Ridge, just like boom, like over the history of Fort McMurray, we've had influxes of people. Maybe like it started with East Coasters, then all of a sudden you had like, I remember when the Venezuelans came in, but Tumbler Ridge, there was so many of you guys that came.
Yeah, so we moved here, and I thought Tumbler Ridge was quite isolated, and I thought, oh my gosh, where's my husband bringing me to now? But actually I've been here for 24 years now, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So it's been hard to see the growing pains, both for the ups and downs, but for us it's home. So
yeah, you've seen tremendous growth. You came here literally during the boom
Yeah.
And so like you've had to deal with those growing pains. Like there's a few of us in this room that like we saw a gradual build and then we were here for the boom. But at least we were able to like say like, oh yeah, I'm from a small town. But you came just for all of the aches and pains of that growth.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the irony is I moved to Tumbler Ridge, BC on May 3rd, 1989.
Okay.
Moved here May 3rd, 2000, and the fire happened May 3rd, 2016. It's like
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. It comes in threes, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. But no, I moved here. My youngest son was 3, just a little over 3, and my oldest son, and my youngest one was born here. So we moved here May 3rd, and he was born in July. So he was born and bred here. And both my sons went to École Boréale, which up until a certain age they were just at the school, and then they had a partnership with Westwood and McTavish when that opened. So they physically were at those schools, but legally were part of École Boréale, so they graduated with as bilingual students. So
cool. So why was that important for you to have?
Well, my husband was French as well, and it was very important to us. We speak both at home, and it was a big sacrifice because for them to go to school meant that they had a long bus ride in the morning and it was a long day, but it was definitely worth it because it was important to us, and we felt that, you know what, they learn it when they're young. It's a gift that we're giving them, and now they're fluently bilingual, and both of them work out at the airport as one's a screening officer with CATSA, and the other one is a compliance officer, and part of their job is speaking French and English to the passengers. So.
Yeah, it's a huge benefit. I have a little guy, Keegan. Everybody knows about Keegan, but I put him in a French day home. That was his first day home, and it wasn't like French immersion. It was just like he was the only English-speaking kid there. Everybody else, like I don't speak any French. My mom paid lots of money for me to try to learn. It's just not something I could pick up. So it was something like I saw a huge benefit in my son speaking a different language, and French is the second language of Canada. So I'm like, that's the one. And the tremendous, so he goes to St. Paul's, and he's kept it up. But like what was amazing was because he was in that French day home, my Lord, he picked up the language so quick. When he went to French immersion, it just wasn't as much as French, like when you're really immersed in it. So, but he was able to keep it up, and it's like he's at the age now where like he's speaking it pretty quickly. Like he knows it's his second language. When him and his friends get around, they know that dumb dad. I don't speak it, so like I'm hearing a lot of French in the house now.
And both myself and my oldest son took Spanish as well, and because your French and Spanish are so similar, it was very easy to pick up, right? So
that's what my mom said
trilingual.
Too.
Yes.
Nuts.
Cool.
I'm barely one lingual.
Facts. So here's a question, and we've asked it to another guest, but it's a good question. What language do you dream in?
French. And the kids make fun of me at school because whenever I count, I always count in French. They always find, I said, it's just my brain naturally goes to, I learned to count in French first, and that's where it naturally goes. So it's very interesting to, but I do dream in French.
Dream in French, that's so unique.
When you fly on an airplane, what do you pay attention to them both, or do you?
I have to say, I pay attention to neither one because it's very annoying when you got to listen to it twice. But the worst part is when you're listening to a program on TV, let's say the Prime Minister is speaking and he speaks half French, half English, but they dub over it. I would rather them just shut up. I can understand both. Right. That is really annoying.
It's nice to know that somebody who speaks French is also annoyed with the 2 times we have to go over that in an airplane.
Yes.
Like, enough. One. We're all good here.
Oh, that is so interesting. Because when I talk to Keegan, I don't have a perspective. So he was explaining to me a little while ago about when I hear words, Dad, I hear it in French and I have to convert some things. And there's certain words that just don't go. And he's just like, you don't know how lucky you are to just speak English. Or I mean, that you don't know how lucky you are that, you just speak English and it's your first language. He's like, English is so hard. And I'm just like, oh, I never thought English was hard.
English is the hardest language
Too
to
many
learn.
exceptions to the rules.
Yeah.
Right? So, Yeah, too many exceptions.
Spelled the same, sound the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Read, read, like, you know,
Right.
exactly, yeah.
So it's funny when we're talking because I talk quickly. I have a lot of slang in my vocabulary, and so I see my son looking at me sometimes like, dude, I'm speaking English. He's just like, not the kind of English I know. So like, he's got to keep up with it, right?
Yeah.
So what was the biggest difference you saw from growing up in like Quebec to like Alberta? Because I know nothing about like that part of the country.
I would say probably the fact that culturally it's very different, a lot more laissez-faire, like very liberal in their attitudes towards things. And also I grew up in a very large family, so having that extended family around was really great. But here, of course, there's just us. But yeah, I think it's more just the liberal attitudes towards things, like it wasn't a big deal, you know, like for a lot of things. So I think that was probably the biggest change that I saw when I came out west. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have so many more questions, but unfortunately, Tanner has tapped, or not tapped his watch, but tapped his phone.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, for me, because I was like, I'm really getting into that conversation. Everybody loves this segment. That's why people tune in to the Mac City Minute, brought to you by Carrie from Patchouli Rose. Tanner, hit her with the Mac City Minute.
Great segue.
I know.
Question number 1 for you. What is one thing the union does that people wouldn't think they do?
Well, I think maybe not necessarily what they do right now, but things that have been brought by the union would be, like you say, your 40-hour work week for a normal work week, paid overtime, sick time, parental leave, maternity leave. Those are all, protected rights that we have because of unions. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that if it wouldn't be for the union, that those rights wouldn't exist. We protect people from, unfair labor practice, health and safety issues, and we help people out when they need someone to be there on their side when they need to stand up with, a bully at work or an employer that's not being fair to them. So.
Question number 2. What is your favorite song to sing in the car when you're alone?
Anything by Celine Dion. She's my favorite songstress. I've seen her 3 times and I just absolutely love her. I've been following her since she was very little, so anything by her.
Question number 3. What was your favorite meal that your mom would make from when you were a child?
It's more of a dessert. Yeah. And it's, we call it grand-père, which means grandfathers. Why that name, I have no idea, but it's kind of like a dumpling with maple syrup and brown sugar. So.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Question number 4. What is your favorite memory from a time in a Fort McMurray school?
I would have to say probably, maybe not one specifically, but I find it's those kids that, because my background prior to coming to Fort McMurray, I worked in group homes. So I worked a lot with children who were apprehended from their home and had some really tough upbringing. And I always find those moments when a kid can come and talk to me when they have nobody else to talk to, that really makes me feel good when they know that I'm always there for them.
And your final question, if you could be any animal for a day, what would you want to be?
A turtle. Because I actually have a turtle tattoo, and I love going to Hawaii. It's one of my favorite places.
Hawaii is so good.
So that's why I would love to be a turtle.
And those have been your 5 questions.
How many times have you been to Hawaii?
A lot. Yeah. We actually were very fortunate, and I speak in my husband in the past tense because he passed away 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago from an illness. But we were fortunate enough in 2005 to purchase a timeshare, but not the typical timeshare, from a widower at a resort on Oahu, literally 2 minutes from Waikiki Beach. We paid $5,400 Canadian, and we get a week every year for the rest of my life. And my maintenance fees are only, because of the contract that we signed with the widower at the time, cost me about $500 a year, so basically to stay in an apartment. And flights to Hawaii are much cheaper than going back to Ontario and Quebec.
Oh.
So I usually go every spring break.
You can fly to China for cheaper than it costs to fly to Ontario. So
I just went to Ontario and it cost me almost $1,300, and I have a ticket booked to go to Hawaii for spring break, return from Fort Mac for $784. So
yeah. Thailand is $1,800.
Yep.
So it's $500 more to go to Asia than to
Yep.
Ontario.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild.
That's ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous that it costs so much money for us to fly in our own country.
Yeah.
Like I've been blessed that I've been to every province, not the territories, I'm working on that one, but I've seen all of Canada and it's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
But my company paid for me to travel. Like I used to be a recruiter, so like I was traveling on somebody else's dime. But man, it's such an injustice that we're not able to like really
Why is
see
it
the country, you know?
why is it $250
Yeah.
for a flight from Edmonton to Seattle, but it's $500 for a flight from Fort McMurray to Edmonton?
Yeah.
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 It's
I travel a lot, and that's one thing. Fort McMurray's been very good for us in the sense that the schools do some amazing trips.
Yup.
Yeah, over the years with my sons, and then now I'm on the Wood Buffalo Youth Travel Association, and we just got back from a 3-week trip this summer we did France, England, Switzerland, Italy, Turkey, and Greece.
Wow.
So, and those are opportunities that back home I would have never had.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I do a lot of traveling, and I've been to 24 countries, and I just love it. That's my passion.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's one of those things. When I was a recruiter, you're recruiting people to come to Fort McMurray, and so during the 2000s there was a lot of opportunity and people knew that, so like I would tell them that my finishing punch would be like, you know why you're coming, for all the great opportunities for your career, but why you should move to Fort McMurray is for your kids.
Yep.
Because the opportunities that your kids are going to have growing up in this community are wild. Travel being one of them. It doesn't matter if you're on the basketball team, if you're on the football team, if you're doing home ec. Like there was literally a travel club that was just to travel. Music, like the experiences that your children are able to have within the schools, and then what the schools offer them outside for their extracurriculars, and it's like no kid left behind. Like some of the parents, yes, have the money to do like just write the check so you can go, but there was fundraising opportunities so that everybody, no matter what your economic standing was, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable opportunities when you move to Fort McMurray, and like the traveling that it allows you to.
And job opportunity too for young people, because my daughter-in-law is a teacher, and I know that had she been back in Ontario, but there's no way they would get full-time employment after only a couple of years of graduation. So it's really, really great for that.
Yeah, a lot of good opportunity. Like it's amazing. But yeah, traveling. So you're a traveler.
Yes.
Where's the next big spot you're excited about?
Well, I can't really say right now because we are actually having a meeting on the 22nd of October to announce where we're going to be traveling to on our 2026 summer trip with the Wood Buffalo Youth Travel.
Okay.
And all I can say is that the only hint that, and Melita, don't get mad at me for spilling the beans, the only hint I will say is if you're an avid historian about World War II, that might interest you, is all I'm going to say. So, but
sounds like Brazil.
Yeah, so I'm a big history buff, geography buff. Now it's all social studies, all one.
Yeah.
But I love learning about culture and just history. So I was very excited when I heard about this trip that we're going to be doing. So
that is so cool. Outside of Hawaii, where has the funnest place you've traveled with like a school or youth been? And that's a different holiday than with your family or your friends.
I went on a trip one time with a group, and we actually went to Iceland. And back when you could fly from Edmonton with Iceland Air, and they wouldn't charge you any extra if you laid over for a few days. So I did Iceland, and I was amazed at how beautiful the country is. Only 12% of the land has trees on it. It's very, volcano, a lot of volcanoes. But I absolutely love. We were there on the hottest day in the summer, and it was only 18 degrees. But it was beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful. So
interesting. There you go. Yeah.
I need my shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tanner tapped his watch, so that means we're out of time, unfortunately. But before I cut you loose, everybody gets a shameless shout out or plug. So you have the mic, the camera, the lights. Have fun.
I want to say shout out to all my CUPE 2559 members, and also to my sons Joel and Thomas, and my daughter-in-laws Alita and Jamie.
There we go. Well, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world, that's been another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for tuning in. It does mean the world to me. Big shout out to our title sponsor, Noral Toyota, as well as Carrie from Patchouli Rose and the beautiful people at Coldwell Banker. We do appreciate your ongoing support. Hope everybody at home is having a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Hi everyone, it's Carrie with Patchouli Rose here at Thickwood Barbershop. If you're wondering what to get your loved one this season for Valentine's Day, I make an all-natural anti-aging skin serum called Good Skin. It's good for men and women, and it's available for purchase here at the barbershop, downtown at the Corridor Shops and Events, and on my website. Thank you for your support.
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.